Good morning and welcome to our kitchen. I'm Gordy Galusha.
I'm Nancy Ostrich.
And today we're going to be making blueberry lemon walnut bread, a Tuscan One Pot, and a caramel apple dump cake. And I'm going to start with my cake.
This is 236 if anybody is interested.
I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. I had it written down so I could. Okay. What I'm going to do is open up my cake box here. I'm going to make a caramel apple dump cake. I'm sure people have made dump cakes before.
Would you like a pair of scissors?
No, I don't know.
Oh, they've taken them away.
Well, let's see if I can do it this way. Okay. Thank you, partner.
Between cereal,
Between the two of us, we ought to get this bag open. Okay. Oh, well.
I think they're laughing at us.
That's all right. I don't care. Okay. First of all, I'm going to put in my pan here. I sprayed a 9 by 13 pan. I'm going to put 2 cans of apple pie filling. These are very, very easy to make. You make them in one pot or one.
You got the pan, I've got the pot.
You got the, oh, okay. All right.
Whoever came up with those types of cakes, they ought to get a gold medal.
I know it. They're so good and so quick to make. So I'm going to flatten this out in my pan. You can make all kinds. Okay. Okay, so my apple mixture is in my pan. So now I'm going to pour some caramel sauce on top of the apples. This is what it looks like with the apples and the caramel sauce inside. Next, I'm going to sprinkle over the cake mix, a yellow cake mix. I use Duncan Hines because I always had good luck with Duncan Hines. So we're going to sprinkle this all over. You have to put the whole package of, the whole bag of cake mix. Okay, now I'm going to spread this out. Just like this. And that looks pretty even, I guess. I'm going to place two, well, a cup of, actually it's a cup of butter. 2 sticks of butter. And it goes on top. Okay, now I'm going to sprinkle a few pecans on top, a half a cup to be exact. Okay, and I'm going to put it into a 350 oven for 50 to 60 minutes. I gotta wipe my hands off for a minute so I can open up the door and stick the pan in. Okay. Now when that comes out, it's going to look real different than what it looked like when it went in the oven. So hopefully it comes out good, and we're gonna switch to Nancy.
Okay. Well, today is kind of well, we're taping in the fall, and one of our main ingredients are apples and nuts, and mine will be featuring blueberries as a fruit. So I found this recipe on the back of a bag of walnuts, and it's blueberry lemon walnut bread. And I already, because it's going to be 2 stages here, in this bowl, I have already put together 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whisk that all together, and I've made a hole because I'll be pouring stuff into the middle of this to mix it. Okay, in this bowl here, I'm going to mix together 2 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, I'll start to whisk it together. Three-quarters of a cup of buttermilk. I don't usually buy buttermilk, so maybe I'll be making this bread a lot until I use up the quart of buttermilk.
Nancy, you can make buttermilk.
I know you can, but I decided just to buy it this time.
Just to buy it this time.
Yeah. Now you sour it. You do different things. Okay. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Two tablespoons of melted butter or margarine. And 2 tablespoons of canola oil. That's what they specified, canola oil. This is whisked together. Then you pour it into the center of your dry ingredients. And I thought I'd do that. Just don't let the bowl slip into the other bowl. And you carefully blend the two together. This is one of these cases where you don't want to overmix the batter. Okay, we're going to add to that 1 cup of blueberries. You can still buy blueberries fresh in the grocery store.
Those are big blueberries, aren't they?
Yeah.
Look at her. Holy moly.
And they're not too expensive. And then 1 cup of toasted, or if you don't want to toast the walnuts, chopped walnuts. And fold that in. This goes in a greased and floured loaf pan. This too will go into a 350-degree oven. For 55 to 60 minutes. Check it when it gets to be that time to make sure the center is done, either with a toothpick or a testing pick. Okay, that is not quite finished. When it cools down after it is cooked, I will make a lemon glaze to put on it. Okay, we're going to break to set up for the next recipe. Well, desserts and bread are in the oven, and now we're going to focus on main meal. Because I said before, this is we're taping fall time. It's time to think about comfort food, and soups is one good example. So what I'm going to make is called the Tuscan One Pot, and I've started to brown a pound of Italian or turkey sausage, and it's Italian season. Links, which I have taken the skin off of, and then you break it up, the links, and brown in your soup pot, your Dutch oven, along in 1 tablespoon of olive oil, along with a small onion chopped and 4 garlic cloves, minced or chopped. And if you know me, I don't buy, I use the already minced in a jar. I'm afraid if I got the regular garlic cloves, they would go bad. Okay, we've got to cook these sausage down till all the pink is gone. Try and get the sausage pieces kind of small. This is an easy soup to put together. Because when that's cooked through, we're just going to add 2 to 3 cans of, and I thought I had, I'm just going with 2 cans of Great Northern beans. These are the white beans, and you don't want to drain them. I'm not a great bean fan, so I'm not going to put at this point a whole 2 to 3 cans in. But enough. And 1 15.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes. and 2 cups of chicken broth. I've switched over to Gordy's size because I can use the larger to cook on since I'm so short. 2 cups of chicken broth. Some Italian seasoning. A teaspoon or so. And salt and pepper to taste. And you know that the longer soup cooks or the next day, it always tastes better. You're going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes. And then we'll finish it off with some spinach. So we're going to break now and let these things cook. And we will be back when things are done. Welcome back to our table. We did finish a few things off to have ready for our table. We're going to start off with our soup today, which is in the center. It's called our Tuscan One Pot Soup. And it's pretty easy to put together. You're going to brown and cook through some Italian flavored turkey sausage. If you want to use pork sausage, feel free. Nice thing you can do about certain recipes is work them to what you prefer. And when that was browned down with garlic and onion, we just added, well, two to three, but I just added 1.5 cans of Great Northern beans, undrained, and 1 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and 2 cups of, which is basically 1 can of chicken broth. Now, you need more liquid. You can add more broth and season accordingly. Some Italian seasoning was put in, and salt and pepper to taste. And I also added a little sugar. I like it a little bit, things sometimes a little bit sweeter, or honey you could add, but I did put a little bit of sugar in, and that is simmered until for half an hour or so. The last thing we do is put in, and now the recipe called for fresh spinach. I had some frozen spinach in the freezer, and that's what I added. So if the green in there, that's some spinach I added at the end. And next, the blueberry lemon walnut bread that I made. I have to tell you, after it was all in the oven, and realized that I did not add the lemon zest, which I had done at home. I didn't want to be like poor Gordy last week trying to get lemon zest here. So I quickly took it out of the oven and I mixed in the lemon zest because it would only be a blueberry walnut cake because there would be no lemon flavoring. And that was a mixture of putting dry ingredients together and then adding the wet ingredients of sugar and buttermilk and the lemon zest and eggs and vanilla extract and butter and canola oil. And all that was mixed together, and then adding fresh blueberries and walnuts. And in the end, this kind of looks kind of shiny. I melted sugar and some lemon juice and as it cooled down, I spread the glaze over the bread. So I'm going to turn it over to Gordy now.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. This morning I made a caramel apple dump cake, and this is what it looks like. And it's very easy to make. There's only 6 ingredients, and you throw it all together and bake it, and you have a dump cake. What I have in here is a yellow cake mix, and I always use Duncan Hines because I've always had good luck with that. And 2 cans of apple pie filling, and a cup of butter, sliced to put on the top. A cup and a half of caramel ice cream topping, which I heated up and poured over, and a half a cup of chopped pecans, and I whipped some cream for the garnish for our cake. And if you would like any of these recipes, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Dalton Community Cable, 151 Park Avenue, Dalton, Mass. 01226, and that's all from our kitchen. Have a great day.